charged with especially aggravated kidnapping. You're also charged with aggravated assault, and you're charged with theft of a firearm worth less than $2,500.
You're talking about stuff that is not relevant.
Hello and welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict, and boy do I have a case for you today.
Why is the dog chewing on this guy?
I think they have got the wrong guy there.
Got the wrong guy. The dog was biting him.
He roughing him up quite a bit. There's a lawsuit.
9 out of 10 judges prefer watching the Recovery Addict live stream in their courtroom.
The fireworks are not done.
Now we're getting commentary on the case. Dati mihi Anglican, please, verbal clubbing.
Is that correct?
Oh, for crumb's sake. Literally not true. I didn't ask you to interrupt me.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Court of Public Opinion. I am the Recovery Addict. It's great to have you all here this morning. Hope you had a wonderful Monday evening. Day's getting started. Wake up, everybody. It's time for court. Come on in, come on in. A big shout out to Heather in Texas, or Heather from Texas. Might be in Texas as well. But Heather from Texas, congratulations. You were first in chat today. What that means is you were the first person to type anything or to comment in the chat window on the live stream. And that comes with its privileges as well as a punishment. We're going to focus on the punishment side for you. Heather, because you were first, your exuberance for the day is a little bit infectious, as you can see. Other people have caught it, and now everyone else is doing what you were doing. They're all commenting. Because you were so excited to get everything started today, we're going to sentence you to internet ownership. Everything IP-related worldwide is now your responsibility. So there's that. So keep it running for the rest of us. Keep the rest of us happy. It'll be good. Can we sit down? Are the seats not working? Let me test the seats out a little. They should be working. They show they're working, at least on my end. Give the old chair a try and see if it'll fold out for you. Look at this. We have our birthdays all ready to go. Are we missing any? I thought there was one we talked about yesterday that I'm not seeing from the list, unless they gave us their name instead of their username. Red pen, thank you very much. Still standing. Seats have not engaged yet. I'm not sure why. I think it's good. I think that's all our birthdays. Tammy's Irish Dogs. Okay, thank you, Amber, for that. Okay, I was going to say, I probably know you by a different name. So there we go. Let's get the birthday song underway so the party can start for all you who are celebrating the birthday today. Everyone, if you can take a deep breath. We are still standing. Hey, hang on. Wait for a second. Before we do the birthday song, let me just jumpstart the seats for you. All the chairs are broken. Update later. Whatever the update is, we'll do it later. Okay, it's all reconnected. We'll give it a try now. See if that works. All right, everyone take a deep breath. Shoulders back. Project your voice to the back of the room. Blend your voice with your neighbor. Warm up with me if you will. La 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 la. That's so loud. That is so loud in my ears. We're going to sing to Cuddly Sloth Nets, Ohio Jen, Tammy, KRH, and Emily. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Cuddly Sloth Net. I didn't even get one name in. We're going to have to do verse 2. Cuddly Sloth Knits. You know that's a tongue twister. You've tripped me up on verse 1. This has never happened before. Here we go. We'll try it again. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Cuddly Sloth Knits, Ohio Jen, Tammy, KRH, and Emily. Happy birthday to you. First try. Happy birthday to you. We don't have anyone else to sing to. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear all you people celebrating your birthdays. Happy birthday to you. There we go. Wow. Chat not on screen. I messed it up. messed it up. Chat not on screen. It's because I had to redo the seats. To everyone who's celebrating their birthday today, specifically Cuddly Sloth Knits, Ohio Jen, Tammy, KRH, and Emily, happy birthday. I realize there are a million places you could be, a million people you could have celebrated with, but you chose to be here with us. The privilege, the pleasure, the honor is ours. Hopefully, we can return some of that joy that we get from celebrating with you back to you. Make your day a little more special, or begin by helping yourself to free pancakes at all the establishments which honor the time-honored tradition of free pancakes on your birthday. Take your pick. I recommend Tammy Dunlap's house. If you want waffles, Colleen can hook you up as well. So, free pancakes. Let's see. Where are we going? Oh, drum solo to finish for sure. I've heard Jeff Lacasse to take the stand today. Yes, please. Hang on. Beautiful. Happy birthday to all who are celebrating. Jeff Lacasse, who was the ex-boyfriend, right? It's Wendy's ex-boyfriend who might have been told that Charlie was looking into a hitman. Maybe. Let's see. Tammy, get him started. Yeah, we pretty much threw you under the bus, Tammy. It's all you today. Have to bring our own seats. Well, let's go to court, shall we? Because court happens, and we're going to be there for it.
Have them send someone with more experience.
How rude. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to think about what I was going to tell you this morning. Something incredibly witty or insightful, and it's just gone. Like brain fart. Just gone. There's nothing. It was in my head.
Now I'm trying to have court. Don't raise your voice again.
I
Happy
apologize,
birthday.
Judge
You look
Clark.
good.
Then Judge Fleischer. 2 judges back to back. That's the wrong button. Sorry. I did Big Dill instead of Big.
It's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us.
All right, where we are in this trial, if you have not kept up, we're on day 3 of testimony. We've had several days of jury selection, but day 3 of testimony, and
I was kicked back, taking it easy.
we've had some spicy testimony so far. Some interesting people testifying. The daughter and oldest son of the defendant have taken the stand already. We're expecting today that the daughter's ex-boyfriend will take the stand, and I've heard he likes to talk, and it could be quite interesting.
I don't like podiums, Your Honor.
It's still not on screen. No, it's fixed. I'm just behind. That's all. Let's see.
There's nothing in the order that restrains you from talking to cats.
I Rescue Dogs. Thank you for gifting a membership. That is awesome. Congratulations to the giftee. Is that the right word, or the recipient?
I think I'm about to catch a whooping.
I think I'm just tired. I think I'm just tired is what it is. Let me just check. Fan funding. I missed a ton this morning. Kelly H., thanks for the popcorn sticker first thing this morning. Thank you, Kelly. Samantha Terry, one of our own mods,
front of the Walmart.
says, thank you, John Amara. Samantha has been here forever. So it should say like 33 months, but she works as a mod and puts all the effort. Thank you. Thank you very much, Samantha Terry. Appreciate that. And we went to black. They just turn off the camera.
Wanted to see me at sidebar.
KRH member for 17 months. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Dancers killed it. Miss Eskimo member for 25 months. OG. I'm an OG. I've been here since day 1 of the Brooks trial. Love it here. I Rescue Dogs. Miss Eskimos, thank you very much. I Rescue Dogs sent 1 Recovery Addict membership. Thank you, I Rescue Dogs. Lois Cox also gifted a membership. Thank you, Lois, for your generosity. Big supporter of the channel there. Noni C, member for 15 months. Thank you, and congratulations on your memberversary. Thanks for the reminder there, Samantha. Congratulations, by the way. Let's see, I had to get up super early to watch Emily D. Baker Replay Crew. LOL, it was wild. I'm sure she's got some things to say on this one, I'm sure. Love the part yesterday when the older son said, DA said, Donna Adelson said, nothing. That case closed for me. Okay, that makes sense. When Donna said, don't talk to the police, and he said, does that include the FBI? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, what if I already did? I'm asking for a friend. And she said, that's okay. You don't know anything, or something like that. It was basically the conversation. You don't know anything. What would there be to know? What would anyone else in the family know more than the oldest son, who was in New York when this all went down and heard about it almost, from family, but, practically on the news is when it was breaking news across the country when he heard about it. What would other people know that he wouldn't? Nothing. No one else would know anything else unless they were involved somehow. And when she says, don't talk to the police, because I've got a lawyer friend who said, don't talk to the police. Suspicious a little bit, a tiny bit. Glenda the Good Witch, member for 20 months, OG. So glad to be here with you and all my friends. Thank you very much. Appreciate the support for 20 months. Jeff Lacasse is in the hallway. Let me see if I can pull up his picture. We've got some great photographers that are in the hallway of the courtroom that are posting on Twitter occasionally. Some courts don't allow you to do that. Don't allow you to take pictures in the hallway. Jeff Lacasse. Not seeing. Not seeing it yet. All right. Reverend Beasy says, hey, do I still count as an OG even though I haven't had a membership for many months? Yes.
the Walmart.
I predate Zachariah Anderson and Letitia Stout. Yes. OG status, we sort of set the bar at 20 months. 20 months. So, and it moves. So if you weren't an OG before, you can become an OG. It's not like a one-time designation. You had to have been joined on this date. You can become an OG. Listened to something yesterday of the prison calls between Charlie and Donna. Made me realize he did it and is in Donna's pocket. What a family. But we've not heard the prison calls in this trial. They might come in, but we have not heard it yet. I will say I took some criticism yesterday for, I guess we all did, for sort of not giving Donna as much grace and space and innocent unless proven guilty as we recommend, as we should get in a trial. And I think the unique situation in this trial is that we have seen evidence in this case. It was just in a different trial. It is legitimate evidence. It's relevant. It's properly gathered. It's presented well. It had laid the foundation. It was allowed in court in testimony, and it convicted someone. It convicted Charlie of working with his family to kill Dan. And so it's hard to look at Donna with the same, I don't believe this. They're saying the family's involved. It's hard to give her that, that level of, yeah. I'm struggling with that. I'll admit I struggle with that, and some of her actions as they've been portrayed in other trials, as well as in this trial by the prosecution, either in evidence or in the openings, which we know is not evidence, but having seen it in other trials, we know it's coming in because we've seen it as evidence. For me, it's easier to jump to, I think I'm ready. I think I've seen enough. What snacks does everyone have this morning? Thank you all for keeping me company at work. Just a Girl Baking, OG. I have some more wasabi. I've got some trail mix, some spicy some trail mix, like Chex Mix. And I think that's about it. I ate everything else. Let's see. Have a bagel toasting. Oh, you need everything spice on it. Let's see. This is the third trial, right? We've seen a lot of evidence, and it's hard to unsee it when you're trying like co-conspirators, right? I think that's the big thing. It's hard to unsee the evidence from another trial when you have co-conspirators in this one, and it's like, well, what we know from Charlie, was enough to convict, and we're sitting pretty happy on that decision, right? None of us are like, oh, I've got regret. I've got jurors' remorse. Shouldn't have convicted Charlie. That just wasn't there. I don't think anyone's feeling that. And now going to the conspirator, which same evidence was presented in Charlie's case, a little bit different, but it's just easy to say, yeah, you know, the bar is not that high. It was epic yesterday when Rob testified. It was really, really telling. Let's see. I have that. We'll add it on. That will be good. Oh.
Everyone can be seated.
8:47. 2 minutes after the jury's supposed to arrive. I think this would be outside the presence of the jury. Let's see what the judge has to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm parsing.
Heather from Texas, welcome to the gallery. You won the internet, and now here you are.
This morning, I just wanted to give some brief instruction to the gallery, as I have on previous days. Once again,
cameraman's missing.
Please keep your phones off or keep them on silent as the trial is taking place. Do not shake your heads or make any gesturing as the witnesses are testifying, whether you agree or disagree with any of the testimony. If any of the testimony is going to be distressing or upsetting for you, please remove yourself from the courtroom. Also, if you step outside while the witness is testifying, you are to remain outside until there has been a change in witnesses. One other matter has been brought to my attention as well. If you are in any common areas with the jurors on this case, please do not discuss any matters that are pertaining to the case around the jurors.
Oh no.
As they are not to discuss the case with each other or anyone else, they cannot be affected by any conversations that are happening by the observers. If you see the jurors, please do not engage them, do not talk to them, do not discuss matters that pertain to the case around them. Does anyone have any questions concerning those?
The correct answer is no.
Very well. With there being no questions, do the parties have any matters that you need to raise for this morning? Please approach.
Sidebar. Prosecution asked for a sidebar. Jury should have arrived 2 minutes ago, and judge was out 8:47. Now prosecution goes to sidebar to discuss something. Seeing a lot of the same players in the gallery as we've had previously. Been here longer than 9 months. I was here from the beginning. Thank you, RA, in chat for the daily court action. Rona McCaw, OG. Thank you very much. Appreciate your support. Add one to the counter for that one. I think we will. Let's turn on the counter first of all. I need the overlay. Downstream here too. Let's switch that one and that. And now you said add one for the judge laying down the law. It's come to my attention. You should not be talking about this case in the common areas of the courthouse. I love how the judge tells everybody, don't make any movement, don't show any reaction, and he does it with a perfectly, like his head doesn't even turn. He's like, model yourselves after me. I am the epitome of how you should behave in this courtroom. Love the judge. He's so good at this. Dale, member for 27 months. Is it too early to break out the popcorn? It is not. It is not. This is one that's pretty exciting. Let's see. Dan's dad is here. Got the photographer. We've got Donna's husband as well. Is it Henry? Why can I not remember his name? Is it Henry? Starts with an H, right? Somebody tell me it's Henry. Harvey. Oh, so close. I knew I was so close. Most of the letters were there. It's like you swap the R and the N's, or the R and the V's position, you change the V to an N. So basically one line E and a A. Well, never mind. Never mind. Forget I said anything. I was close. H dog. The H man. H Adelson. That's what it is. In the calls, Donna's husband knew all along what was happening. But is there enough to convict? Is knowing enough? I think the standard for the law is that you have to take some sort of active role, provide some sort of support or level of participation. Although it may be a crime to know and not do something. The failure to take action might be a crime in some states, but I don't think it's enough to get them as a conspirator with the same charges that the gunman had. Amy P., welcome to the gallery. Thank you, Amy. Is that a Mizzou? Sweater you got on? The only one who didn't know was Rob. He was left out of the loop. Let's see. Yaku, yes. You've been around for a long time. Long time. Roll call at the very beginning. It was so much fun. Does anyone know if Wendy has spent all of Dan's money by now? I don't know. I imagine if she gets charged, that would be something that might be specific to her case that is not relevant in other cases coming up. Donna seems happy, sharing a little laugh with the lawyer. Sidebar is lengthy, but now over. Prosecutors both have this demeanor that's just, it's muted. It's subtle, but it's also confident.
I was told counsel wanted to see me inside.
Judge types in his password. Greatest judge of all time. Enter. Computer's now unlocked. Rob was too honest and minimally loyal. He's out. He might be out of the will.
Everyone's here.
Everyone is here? Bring him. Let's get started before 9, Judge. We'd be early. Sandy, member for 5 months. Baby member here, but been subscribed for much longer. Sandy, thank you very much.
You can let me know once they're finished with the bathroom. We'll bring them out and we'll get started.
Seems that very few other settings in adult life do we know so much about somebody else's bathroom habits. But trial seems to bring that one fact out. Can you imagine this judge in the Karen Reed trial? Oh my goodness. It would. There are some court cases where I would like to take all these players and swap this judge with this case. Or let's see. Like Judge Carroll from the Maya trial. Having him, I'd want to see him on a really contentious where the lawyers are just at each other's throats. Well, that's basically what he was on already. So.
I believe the jurors might be ready, but if you need to use the restroom, please go do it now. If you
Do it
need
now.
to.
Selena K gifted a membership. Thank you, Selena, for that. That one went to Vin's Clortho. And Sandy gifted a membership as well. That one went to Lego Briefs. Congratulations, Lego Briefs. I can remember the days during roll call where we talked about how we would eventually be too big for roll call. Yeah, what we used to do, for those who don't know what roll call is at the beginning of the live stream, I'd go live, and as people would slowly filter in, a dozen or two at the beginning, and we'd get a few people here and there, I'd welcome each person and be like, hey, welcome, how's it going? And also at that time, it was easier to keep track of happenings in your life. And so it was like, hey, how was the birthday party? How was your daughter's visit? All those fun things. Now I just try to pronounce your name right. It's become a little bit more difficult. But before we did birthdays, we did roll calls, yes. We welcome each other now, says Verbal. Legally Blonde, thank you. It's fun. The community is amazing. That's what I love. Is people come in, there's like, hey, good to see you. How's it going? And the relationship you have with each other, and even, I mean, I'll get messages from people knowing that a lot of people have texted the burner phone, so I know a lot of people's phone numbers, and people reach out to me and say, just privately on the burner phone, say, hey, I haven't seen this viewer for a while. Can you check on them or see if they're okay? And so I'll be in the middle. It's like, hey. Well, we're just worried about you. So and so was asking, how are you doing? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm just busy. You've got a family vacation. We're over here. I'm like, awesome. No pressure. I'm not like saying you have to come back and watch. That would be great, but just know that there's a community here that cares about you and wants to make sure you're okay. So that is awesome. And a few of you have even met up, and brought each other dinner and gone out to eat and things like that together, which is just awesome to hear about. Drama Llama Mama says, I posted my cows in the Facebook page this morning. I will have to look. I have not looked at Facebook yet this morning. Kathy loves polar bears. Welcome to the gallery with the yellow courthouse. Love it. I met my husband here. Anyone seen him? Okay, Thal. He's like a absentee husband a little bit. I'm not saying he gets around. I'm not like that. I mean, he's always off and doing things. So he'll pop in occasionally. And when he does, trust me, he will make a grand entrance. But I could reach out to him if you want. Legally Blonde gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Legally Blonde. You guys are super generous. Legally Blonde says, cheers for our YouTube family and being seen. Some mods have randomly dropped by. Only one, Amber. Only one. Kelly H gifted a membership again. Thank you, Kelly H. Thal is hilarious. Thal was a mod for a very short while. And just for your information, Thal has run a very large YouTube channel before, and he still runs a YouTube channel and likes what he does. And it's a smaller one now. He's changed his channel around, and early in the early days, he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I realize I'm some random nobody on the internet. Can I give you some advice?" And we spoke a lot, and it helped. He gave some advice in the early days when I was just setting things up, as far as what to do and what not to do. Oh, knuckle popping. We've got to count it.
Jerry Ayden in the courtroom.
So, but Thal has a boisterous presence and no filter. So we had to take him off the mod list because we can't have that representing the channel, but we do love it when he comes in. Melissa and Chris gifted a membership. Thank you very much.
Everyone can be seated.
Gail Pat, 30 months, OG. Good
morning, members of the jury.
Good morning. Good morning, Judge.
We are going to resume with the state's case once again this morning.
I'm going to crank the
Everyone
volume a
does
bit.
have their notepads and pens in their seats. All right. And for the record, the jurors have responded in the affirmative. Ms. Kappelman, you may call your next witness.
Gail Pat,
Jeff
OG. Jeff's up. First up is Jeff. Okay, we're gonna have to listen here, so I'll have to save the membership messages for later. But Crystal H, last one. Member for 12 months. You hit the year mark. Congratulations, Crystal. I've been here for what feels like forever. You saying happy birthday to all my kids. I love the people I've met here and appreciate your view 95% of the time. Crystal, I love that 5% of the time we don't agree. That's great. I do love that. Can we get a roll call on the podcast? Ooh, maybe. Okay, Jeff. Jeff is the boyfriend, and this might be fire. He's got a big water bottle.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
You may take your seat. You may inquire when you're ready, sir.
Sir, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
I'm Jeffrey Lacasse, pardon me, Jeffreylacasse.
How are you employed?
I'm an associate professor at Florida State University.
How long have you been at FSU?
Since 2013, so 11 years now, 12 years now.
It's the loudest
Have
lid
you
ever.
always lived here in Tallahassee?
I was here from 2000 to 2008 pursuing my doctorate, and I went to Arizona State for 5 years, and I came back in the fall of 2013 when all this happened.
Okay. And back in that time frame, did you have a relationship with Wendy Adelson?
I did.
When did that relationship begin?
We started dating in late September of 2013.
Okay. What was the nature of the relationship?
At first, it was very casual. We weren't exclusive. After Halloween, things started to accelerate. That's the fall of 2013. And then by late February, early March, we were an exclusive couple.
When did the relationship end?
It's a little tricky, but I would mark it at around July 14th,
Okay,
2014.
Around the time of the homicide or shortly before?
Right before, yes.
During the time that you were dating Wendy Adelson, did you become aware of her divorce
I did.
and the litigation surrounding the divorce and subsequent to the divorce? Were you familiar with that as well?
Yes, it was a constant topic of conversation.
Were you aware that it was an unusually difficult or nasty divorce?
I was.
And during the time that you were dating her, were you aware that litigation was still pending during that time frame?
Yes.
Was there a specific item of litigation that was a common topic during the time you were dating Mrs. Adelson?
Well, as far as what she discussed, there were multiple. The relocation motion had just been denied a couple months before we started dating, so that was still very much on Wendy's mind. That came up a lot. Then there were the custody issues with the kids, of course.
Okay. Did you know Dan Markel?
I met him briefly a couple
Faculty
times.
meetings.
Was that in the context of you being the new boyfriend and exchange of the kids kind of
Exactly. Picking up the kids, swimming lessons one time. Never spoke to him for more than 2 or 3 minutes.
thing? The interaction that you did have with him, were those cordial?
It was polite and cordial.
Did you have any issues with him other than things that Wendy was telling you?
I sort of adopted the Adelson family narrative. I kind of believed what Wendy was telling me. And Wendy and I also had mutual friends from when I was here before, and they had sort of adopted that narrative as well. So I didn't have a personal beef with Dan Markel, but I did believe sort of the Adelson family story about Dan Markel.
Which is that he was making it very difficult for Wendy. He was a difficult person.
Yes.
If you know, did Wendy Adelson want to relocate to South Florida?
Yes, she did, very badly.
And why did she want to relocate to South Florida?
She preferred to be down there with her family. She also hated Tallahassee. That's in my original, police statements. It was almost a daily topic of conversation how much she disliked Tallahassee. So was Bush. She really disliked Tallahassee. She preferred to be in Miami. On our second date, she broke into tears talking about relocation and abruptly ended the date. I mean, it was still very visceral, very important to her.
All right, and that was shortly after the relocation had been denied, is that right?
Yeah, that would have been last week of September, so a couple months after. It was fresh then, yeah.
Okay, and were you specifically familiar during that time with the litigation seeking to limit Donna Adelson's exposure to the kids, or to have her be supervised in the presence of the kids because Dan was alleging that she had made disparaging remarks about him to the children?
Yes, I was aware of that.
How did you become aware of that?
Oh, multiple ways. Wendy talking about it. And it's hard to remember which exact emails and motions I was forwarded, but definitely Wendy's talking about it for sure, and perhaps I was sent court materials.
Okay, were you also shown things in her presence?
Yes, yes.
All right, and if you know, did Wendy take that particular filing seriously? Was she upset about that or worried about that?
Yes, every time there was a motion, they took it very seriously, and I'd reported to the police that it was disruptive on the relationship because every time something was filed, dates would get canceled, when he would be in a mood, when he would be upset. So
When you say they took it seriously, who are you referencing?
the entire family, but Wendy was the person I was having contact with. But it was known to me that the whole family was upset.
Okay. And how do you deduce that it's a they and not just a Wendy? Is she in communication with the family? Is she relaying that to you? How do you know that?
For multiple...
Calls for speculation and opinion.
Overruled. He may testify as to his personal knowledge. You're not to repeat, however, what anyone said out of court, Mr. Ocasio.
Sure. So conversations with Wendy, which were consistent, and also observing the family dynamic, which was, I described to police as a family without boundaries, that sort of not having just a shared family life than your own.
Opinion.
Stand as to opinion.
All right. So in your observations, let's keep it specific to Donna, if you don't mind. Was Donna Adelson very involved in her daughter's life?
Yes, absolutely.
Was she very involved in her daughter's divorce litigation?
Yes.
And I say divorce, I know the divorce was already final, I'm referencing the subsequent litigation as well.
Yes.
Okay. During the time that you were in a relationship with Wendy, did you have the occasion to meet her family?
I did.
When was that?
I met Donna, I met her multiple times, but Wendy had me come over to her house and had me have dinner with Donna in mid-November. So sat down and had dinner with Donna. There's about 6 or 7 other occasions that we met and or interacted. Me picking up Wendy to go on a date, and the parents would be in the living room. We went to a Hanukkah party together. We went to the circus together. Wendy's parents would use Wendy's van to transport the kids, so I would come pick Wendy up from the house to bring her to work because the parents needed the car. I met Charlie in March when I stayed with him, so that's some of the interactions.
All right. And when you met Donna here in Tallahassee, was Harvey always there as well, or would sometimes be
I don't
Donna
believe Harvey
alone?
was there. I don't believe Harvey was there that time, but he was there other times.
So did it appear to you that Donna was frequently in Tallahassee?
Donna was definitely frequently in Tallahassee between September and early May. After that, I'm not aware of her being in Tallahassee. Well, I think she was in Tallahassee quickly once or twice after that, but in terms of extended trips, there's an awful lot of moms here for a while going on between September and late April, early May.
And when Donna was here in town staying with Wendy, what was the purpose of the visits, if you know?
I think multiple purposes. The children was what almost everything revolved around, so spending time with the kids would be the main purpose that I was aware of.
All right. And you said you met Charlie. Where did you meet him?
Wendy and I went to, sorry. Wendy and I went to alternative spring break in Immokalee, Florida for spring break 2014. After we were done with that field trip of sorts, we went and stayed with Charlie at his house for one night. So I spent one evening with Charlie Adelson.
All right. And did you interact at all with Donna and or Harvey on that trip?
No, they didn't attend. We didn't go there.
Did you ever spend time with Donna Adelson in South Florida?
No.
All right. So the only times you met her were here in Tallahassee.
That's correct.
What were your interactions with Donna Adelson like?
Just a few that I recall. Sometimes they were really quick because I was just picking Wendy up. When we had dinner, we talked for maybe 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes, but it was pretty quick and just getting to know the girl who I'm interested in, her mom, so it's just that kind of thing. She excused herself from the table after like maybe 10, 12 minutes, something like that. And so,
was that a conversation where it was just the two of you seated at the table?
it was Wendy, myself, and Donna.
Okay.
Just a getting to know you type thing.
Okay.
Just ended fairly quickly.
What about Catherine Magbanua? Did you ever have an occasion to meet her?
I did. She was at the dinner at Yardbird that myself, Wendy Adelson, Katie, and Charlie were at. Yeah.
All right, and that was the night that you spent in South Florida where you met Charlie?
Correct.
Was that the only time you ever met Charlie?
Only time I ever met Charlie.
Okay. And do you know the date of that visit?
I believe that's March 11th, 2014.
And how was Catherine Magbanua related to the Adelson family?
She was Charlie's new girlfriend at that dinner, is how I knew her.
Was it your impression or knowledge that this was the first meeting between Wendy Adelson and Catherine Magbanua?
That was my impression. There was a lot of getting to know you talk type stuff.
All right. At the dinner table, did the subject of Dan Markel come up?
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of specifics, but I think it came up kind of briefly. There was a lot of talk about Wendy's book. I remember that part.
She has a book?
And at the dinner table, did Catherine Magbanua's ex come up at all?
Yes.
Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, that stood out because Katie mentioned that she had her children's father was always getting in trouble with the police and had a violent criminal record. I'm paraphrasing, but it was it sounded like non-parking tickets. It sounded pretty bad, and it stuck in my memory for that reason.
What happened after dinner?
We went back to Charlie's house on Well Harbor.
All right, and did Catherine Magbanua go back to Charlie's house as well?
No.
All right, so at that time it would be just the three of you, Wendy, and Charlie?
And Charlie's then roommate, Dr. Jerome Obed.
Okay. And can you describe the residence there?
Yeah, I thought it was a nice house. Had a hot tub, had a pool.
Okay. Did you get in the hot tub that night?
We did get in the hot tub for a while.
Who all was in the hot tub?
Myself, Charlie, Wendy, and Dr. Obed at some points. And people were in and out, but those were the four that were in the hot tub. And
during that time, did Charlie Adelson make some comments against Dan Markel?
Yes, he didn't like Danny. That I might be understating it. Yeah.
Is that the most you can remember? Was the gist was that he didn't like him?
I'm not downloading that exact quote at this moment. I remember he was fired up. It wasn't just like I don't like Danny. It was maybe a overprotective brother anger sort of vibe to it.
Okay. And did he make some other comment about wrong side of the tracks or something?
Yeah. He's kind of
leading. You're saying leading. Not for the truth of the matter asserted. What do you think? I've seen a couple of people comment on here that that they believe that this witness Jeff was sort of, oh, he just lowers his chair. Oh, and he just got really short. Okay, don't mess with the chair, sir. I've only got the one. That he was supposed to be the fall guy. That the family tried to set up the murder so that he would be the suspect or would point things at him. Apparently, you guys are saying that the killers rented basically the same car he drove. And he had met Charlie. He was the boyfriend before they were divorced. That would be what motive? Not liking the ex. Interesting. Why else would a killer drive a Prius? I mean, it's not for the gas mileage, but yeah, it's cheaper. Is it cheaper to rent a Prius? That just shows if that's the case, it would be like next level planning, and that's got to involve Wendy quite heavily if that's the case. It's for the awesome horn. That's what it was. The beep beep. I don't know, what does a Prius horn sound like? I've never driven one. Never want to, actually. I am too tall a person to fit in a Prius. I don't think you even fit me in the trunk in parts. There was a lot of planning because they're quiet. It makes drive-bys easier. Wendy likes to play the I knew nothing card. I don't know anything about finances. I don't know anything about court. I don't know anything about the law. I don't know anything about my family potentially trying to kill my ex-husband. I can see you driving a Prius because as a getaway vehicle, I mean, it's not the one you're going to outrun the cops in, right? But as far as making the most distance between the hit and where you next have to refuel or charge up, I think a Prius can go, I mean, if it's a hybrid, can go quite a ways. Got that little weed eater engine in the back, just sucks gas, just sips it. Thought it was strange they're driving a Prius. They don't take me as a Prius owner. They probably looked a little bit funny in the Prius. Let's see. They have a higher speed. Yeah, but they're not a high-performance vehicle by any means. Blends in, possibly, to all those Florida Priuses. Had a Prius and hated it. I think they add sound effects to EVs nowadays just so for safety factors. They have to make noisemakers on them. Right now we have the ex-boyfriend of Wendy on the stand testifying about what he heard about from Charlie, and possibly Donna and Wendy, at or before, right up to the time of the murder.
Objection is overruled. You may continue with your line of inquiry, Ms. Kappelman.
Sir, do you remember the statement that I was referencing?
Yes, I do. There was a couple of statements in the hot tub.
Okay.
One was about the fact that Charlie knew people on both sides of the tracks, that he hung out with professionals, dentists, doctors, etc. But he also knew, was familiar, had social contacts that were in the criminal element. And he's kind of bragging, and he kind of specifically mentioned Cuban neighborhoods as a place where you would find that criminal element.
Okay. I want to ask you about an incident involving, I think the context is assessing Wendy's oldest child for gifted placement. Do you
Yes.
know where I'm going with that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, could you tell the jury, please?
Wendy was looking to get her older son tested to see if he was gifted, to get him placed in school. This is spring 2014. And I was trying to put her in touch with some people that could do that. And we were talking about that, and she asked me when children develop autobiographical memory.
Is your training or profession such that you have some knowledge that you could offer on that topic?
Your Honor, he's not disclosed as an expert.
Sustained.
You'll need to establish a foundation as to why this testimony could be given by this individual, Ms. Kappelman.
I'm not offering it for its truth, Judge. It goes to Ms. Adelson's state of mind and motive.
Very well. As to that purpose, I will permit it. However, as to that limited issue only, can this be considered by the jury?
So, I mean, you're not an expert on children's autobiographical memories, are you?
Not really. That's in some of the textbooks I teach out of, but I think I can keep it out of the scientific realm and explain it commonsensically, which is how I responded to Wendy. Children at age 2 have amnesia, which most parents probably realize. Between 3 and 4, kids start to develop the ability to retain memories.
Jeff, this is expert testimony.
As to a specific thing that goes to the state of mind of the individual you are testifying about, Mr. Lacoste, you may speak. As to your knowledge of any literature or research on this matter, I do not need you to testify on that matter.
What is your profession? What is your background?
I'm a professor of social work. I teach mental health courses.
Okay. So, Wendy asks you what?
She asked me when kids develop memory. At what age will kids start to remember what happened to them when they were a kid?
And what was your answer?
I think I said 5 or 6.
Again, this is expert testimony.
Overruled, Mr. Zalman, sit down. You may testify concerning not the truth of the matter asserted, but how this affected the state of mind of the Adelson.
Your Honor, this has not been disclosed to the defense.
Please approach.
Overruled, sit down, says the judge. This has not been disclosed. That is an issue. Is this a new topic? Now, the question that was being asked was, what was the question Wendy asked? And she said, when do kids basically develop memory? When do they start remembering, anything? And he's trying to give that answer, and defense is up in arms. They've objected because he's not an expert. They've objected because of speculation, and now they're objecting because it has not been disclosed, which is probably their strongest argument. Hush.
I'm trying to have court. Don't raise your voice again.
Could be about the divorce. I'm not sure if we could do any sound effects from this judge because he's so laid back and quiet. It's like overruled, sit down. It's, we need him to really, we need a punch to it. Yes, we counted sit down. That got us to 19 on the counter. Gatorade has water. Apparently, I keep trying to look at the bottle, but he's holding it. Funny. Well, look at the replay. See if I can. Let me find where he's drinking. Oh, there it is.
Break. The bailiff will take you to the jury room. Mr. Lacoste, if you can step down, please. Step outside the courtroom doors. Don't discuss your testimony with anyone else.
We have a fight on our hands. It is just, it is just Gatorade water. Looks like this.
Everyone can be seated.
We have a proffer. We have an argument. What? Crank the judge's volume here because he's a little quiet today. Judge is reviewing the transcript. That's his transcript screen. What was asked? Lawyers are going through depots. Those big folders look like depositions. Defense doesn't look too nervous about this. Looks like a slight inconvenience. If you have a witness that discloses something that's new to you, if it's shared in deposition, which you'd think it would be, or in a discussion, trial prep, something like that, the prosecution has an obligation to turn it over to the defense. So them asking the question, getting to this point, sort of, you've heard that a lawyer never asks a question they don't know the answer to, right? They ask the question because they know what the answer is, and they want the answer. The defense is saying the answer that we're hearing from Jeff, or we heard from Jeff, has never been disclosed, meaning the state held something back, and that would be a big issue. Auntie Deb's there. Jeff was supposed to leave for Tennessee on the day of the murder, and Wendy knew this, but he decided to leave the day before, after they had a fight. We saw it in his interrogation. What's with the headsets? I don't think they're using them during this trial, but typically they're used for sidebars. So they have not been used yet. And although it's great advertising by the manufacturer for the headsets, they're actually pretty crappy headsets. I don't like them at all. The one time I got to
then how
experience.
long do you think it will take to find this portion of either the deposition or material provided in discovery?
Maybe another 10 minutes, Judge?
We'll take a break.
Very well. We'll take a recess then until 9:40.
So I was correct that they are pouring through depositions to see if it was in fact disclosed. If it was disclosed, that looks bad on the defense. They're Tascam headsets. It's written across the brand's written across the band on the top. To me, they feel like vice grips on my head. You know, you wear them for a little while and they just hurt. Maybe Charlie is giving play-by-play on the headsets. Happened to the writing an essay. No, the judge disclosed what they're doing. They are, in fact, going through the depositions for this witness to see if, in a deposition where both sides were there and listening or asking questions or whatever, he disclosed this exact testimony. And if he did, then the judge will overrule the objection. And it sort of puts a little egg on the face of the defense, because you're supposed to know. It basically means that I screwed up. I either didn't see it, I missed it in the deposition, or I didn't remember that we were told that this was coming, because I pretended or I acted like that we had no idea we would ever get to this point with this witness, and here we are. So it looks bad on the defense if it's overruled. If it's sustained, it is bad for the prosecution, and the judge should rightfully try to find a way to fix this. Sometimes it's done just by saying, hey, do you need to have some time to review it, or, just have some time with this idea? Can we put this witness on hold and go to somebody else and let you catch up? Sometimes it excludes the testimony. Like this exact little part of the testimony that was not disclosed can't come in because it didn't follow the proper rules of discovery. So let's see. I don't think he's ever brought it up before. From watching prior trials, it appeared that Jeffrey was planned to be a decoy until he left town. Bedford planned without Wendy knowing. He's like, oh no, our go-to guy has fled think of what a great fit it would be. What a great fit it would be if they've got a light-colored Prius leaving the scene of a murder the same time that a light-colored Prius leaves the state and goes on a trip. And it's a boyfriend. Yeah, it could have at least thrown the police off on a different a different direction. I can replay. It's not. I don't think it was. It doesn't seem as spicy as it was here. Let's see. Gotta see. I think we were on a different picture at the time. Go back. Replay machine's going slowly. Just 1 second. His last comment. Okay, let's pick it up from about right here. Ready? This is on replay. Ready?
For this, I will admit it. However, as to that limited issue only, can this be considered by the jury?
So, I mean, you're not an expert on children's autobiographical memories, are you?
Not really. That's in some of the textbooks I teach out of, but I think I can keep it to those scientific realm and explain it commonsensically, which is how I responded to Wendy. Children at age 2 have amnesia, which most parents probably realize. Between 3 and 4, kids start to develop the ability to retain memories.
Jeff, this is expert testimony.
Okay, here's the expert testimony
As to
objection.
a specific thing that goes to the state of mind of the individual you are testifying about, Mr. Lacoste, you may speak as to your knowledge of any literature or research on this matter. I do not need you to testify on that matter.
What is your profession? What is your background?
I'm a professor of social work. I teach mental health courses.
Okay. So, Wendy asks you what?
She asked me when kids develop memory. At what age will kids start to remember what happened to them when they were a kid?
And what was your answer?
I think I said 5 or 6.
Again, this is expert testimony.
Overruled, Mr. Zellman, sit down. You may testify concerning not the truth of the matter asserted, but how this affected the state of mind of Wendy Adelson.
Your Honor, this has not been disclosed to the defense.
Please approach.
Okay, so that's where we are. So this was the third throw of spaghetti on the wall to see if it will stick. That they finally got the sidebar, got to approach. So now we're in break as the let's see. Thanks for the replay. Missed that part. Yeah, the statement he said was that Wendy asked me what time when kids start developing memory, and he starts answering that, and I think they're objecting to the testimony where he said Wendy asked me when kids start developing memory. I think that's where their objection is. I don't think it's I told her 4 or 5. Let's see. Jeff did not own a Prius. If Jeff did not own a Prius, then the whole setup thing story doesn't match. Where can somebody confirm whether Jeff owns? Oh, it was not a Prius. It was just similar color and shape, like a Geo Metro. What? So maybe the car would be, trying to match it, but not exact. It was a sedan of the same color. Why did they oppose this testimony about Wendy? I think they oppose his testimony in general, and anywhere they can poke a hole in it or limit it, it will potentially help them out. He didn't own a Prius, but they rented a similar car. Okay, that's awesome. Ford Escort hatchback. That's like a Vauxhall Corsa for those of you over in the UK. Hey, there was a time I drove a Geo Metro Storm, which was supposed to be like the sports car equivalent of a Geo Metro, which means all they did was add chrome along the bottom. It's basically a Geo Metro stick shift, but it was sort of peppy, but only because it only weighed like 150 pounds full of gas. Hey, Red, when you're a new driver, young kid, teenager, you don't get to choose what kind of car you drove. For me, this was an upgrade from the Ford. Country Squire station wagon, 1976 Country Squire station wagon, brown with fake wood paneling and studded snow tires, which I drove to high school. The Geostorm was like, it was a Ferrari in my world. You know, that station wagon took up 2 parking spaces. You couldn't park it in just one. You had the swing out mother and the door on the back that swings wide like a barn door, not the barn door that opens too, like the big gate door. And then it had the fold-up mother-in-law seats in the back. Do you know how many cool points you lose driving your friends to the football game in that? Yeah. So don't at me about my Geo Metro Storm. Let's see. I had a Buick Century, did a Dodge Ram Charger. I drove a Buick Century. Had a lot of cars as growing up. Mostly because they broke down so quickly and they were not fixable. Any breakdown in the cars I drove pretty much totaled the car because the repairing it was cost more than the car was worth. And so we'd always have to buy a new car all the time. The Hoopty command isn't working. Learned to drive in a Country Squire's wagon with my sisters screaming in the back seat. Lunacy, we ended up selling that Ford Country Squire station wagon to some like random person who like, the way I remember it, they just drove by and said, "Can we buy your car?" And my parents were like, "Sure."
You don't put a diplomatic plate on a hoopty.
And
Scratch all that.
And they bought it. And the next thing we heard, like, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks later, we got a phone call from the Florida Highway Patrol. And like the car had been like ditched after a high-speed chase or something. It was a drugs and stuff involved. And like, we got you. You know, we've got your car. come in and testify. Like, nope, we sold it. We had like a bill of sale and everything, so it was all good. Missing a little bit here. Can Wendy be recalled to dispute this testimony? Wendy can be recalled. She has been retained, but the prosecution has said we don't anticipate recalling her. We just don't want her to talk to anyone. So she's not released, but she can go about her business. She's not going to be recalled. At least I seriously doubt she would be. Okay, I'm falling way behind in chat. Oh, wow. Tammy E. just gifted 10 memberships. Tammy, thank you so much. Great people turning from gray to green, which we might have to play the song today with this flood of memberships that's coming in. The best car I ever drove as a teenager was like, I don't remember what year it was. So we're talking 1994, something like a 1993 or 1994. So I'm probably a sophomore in high school, just got my driver's license. And the best car I ever drove was a 1994 Cadillac, like the nice one, the brand new the best of the best of the best Cadillac. And the way it went down is I had been up hiking on the mountain, and I was coming down from hiking, and my neighbor across the street who got a new Cadillac every year and drove the best Cadillac, he and his wife, that was what they drove, was Cadillacs. He had horses, and a horse had gotten out, and he had driven after it in his Cadillac, and he ran and jumped out and grabbed the horse, and he saw me, and he said, "Could you drive my car and park it back in my yard, in my driveway?" I'm like, "Sure." And I got in. It was like, I had never been in a car that nice. And then I had permission to drive it. I was so worried I was going to wreck the thing. I mean, it's like a land yacht. It's huge. Got a call coming in. Hang on. And I missed it. I was too slow. All right. Play the jam. We have just a couple minutes. For those who have not heard the jam that we're talking about, Gray is the New Green is the song we're talking about, which if I can find it. Filter public. There we go. Here we go. This is a song we made using the AI to celebrate everybody getting new memberships on the channel. So we'll give it a quick little listen here.
In the land of pixels, here we meet.
Don't put a diplomatic plate on a hoopty.
Gray's the color of our simple seats. No flashy lights, no fancy scheme. It's low-key love in a cyber dream. Slow mode life, we're taking it easy. Calm in the chat, everything looks breezy. No golden throne, no crown on screen, yet still I feel like royalty unseen. Gray is the new
Did you find the information that you were seeking to
Yes, sir. I'm sorry I didn't have an answer for you. The cases had so many incarnations, hard for me to remember who knows what, but I am conceding the violation, certainly not intentional. I did not find it. Mr. Rashbaum did not depose this witness, so I'll move on.
Well, the defense requesting for the court to conduct a Richardson hearing.
It's not intentional. I would concede that. There are a lot of materials in here. I would just, if the state's going to move on, I don't think we need to inquire further.
Should I get the witness, Judge?
One moment. Briefly, so the record is clean on this topic, I will find there has been a discovery violation with regard to the testimony of Jeffrey Lacasse on the subject matter of what was discussed with Wendy Adelson concerning any issues as to the children's memories. I will find this was inadvertent, as there have been, I believe this Kappelman is the 5th or 6th trial in this.
Only the 4th, Judge.
Excuse me. The 4th trial that has occurred.
Judge anticipated
under
at least
this set
2
of
more.
facts, and there has been a multitude of discovery or interviews or depositions of this witness, but specifically as to this defendant being able to depose this witness on this topic that did not take place by prior counsel or current counsel. I will find it is trivial, and it has not had a prejudicial effect on the ability of the defense to prepare, since the state is conceding the matter and no further examination on this topic will take place. The court will give a curative instruction to the jury for them to disregard and not consider as evidence in this matter any testimony that has taken place concerning a conversation between Wendy Adelson and Jeffrey Lacasse as to the children's memories. You may bring in the witness.
That's hilarious when the judge says, I think this is the 5th or 6th trial. Count the people. Who's left? Harvey and Wendy. Judge says 5th or 6th trial. He's anticipating the whole family going through the system. No, it's only the 4th. Only the 4th. We will give the judge a law point
They
for
might
that.
be using the bathroom, but once they're ready.
Just one, though.
Yep. You can come back to the witness stand, Mr. Lacasse.
Just for the record, I conferred with the defense counsel about the decision to do a curative instruction, even though it sounded like they weren't asking for it, and it sounds like they're in agreement with that procedure.
That's correct, Your Honor.
I wouldn't know why you have an adverse.
Well, there could be an argument that it draws more attention to the information, so I just wanted to make sure that their agreement was clear for the record.
Mr. Zelvin, do you wish to have the curative, or do you not?
The proposed curative is acceptable, Your Honor.
Very well.
We got some laughs. That was the prosecution saying, we don't really need the curative, Judge. We can just move on. And sometimes the defense doesn't want it. The topic raised again, saying, hey, you remember that thing you just heard? Forget about it. Defense says, yeah, we want it. We like it. It does draw attention. Judge cracking his knuckles. When the jury comes in, it's like every time the jury comes in, he cracks his knuckles. Listen for that. Maybe we should count it, like by itself. Well, the judges shared
Everyone can be seated. Members of the jury, before the examination of this witness continues, I am going to give you a brief instruction. The last objection that was raised by the defense, it is being sustained. You are to disregard any testimony that has taken place by this witness concerning the issues of any statements or any conversation he had with Wendy Adelson about her children's memories. You are not to consider this as a part of the evidence in this case. You may continue with your examination.
Thank you, Judge.
Wow.
Around this same time frame, I guess we're talking about maybe March of 14, somewhere in there, did Wendy Adelson, actually strike that. I'm going to move on to the coffee shop meeting. You familiar with that?
The June 4th coffee shop?
Yes, sir. June 4th, 2014. Did you have plans prior to that meeting to travel with Wendy Adelson over the time frame in which Dan Markel was ultimately killed?
Yeah, that's right. And on June 4th, I had planned to see Wendy and the kids at her house that night. Middle of the day, she called me to sort of an impromptu meeting at Red Eye over on Thomasville, and she abruptly canceled our trip for reasons that didn't make much sense.
When was the trip scheduled to happen?
The 11th to the 17th.
All right, so you would have returned home actually the day before the murder
Correct.
occurred. Okay. And did she express concern about not being home in time to pick up the children?
Yeah, the reason she canceled the trip was I'm worried we're going to get strict.
Objection to hearsay?
Sustained unless there is an exception. Ms. Kaplan.
Goes to motive, Judge.
Overruled.
Don't care if they go on a trip or not. All right, sir, so the reason for not going on the trip?
The reason for not going on the trip was tied up on a couple of things. First of all the stuff going on with Danny was a constant refrain. But given the stuff going on with Danny, she was concerned that she might not be back in time, even though our flight was to land the day before. And it wasn't so odd to me. It wasn't winter. We're going through it. It's like LA to Atlanta to Tallahassee, leaving in the morning. I didn't see any real reason why that would be a problem.
She would have needed to pick up the kids on July 18th, right?
Yes, she knew that then. Their schedules were planned out for like months.
Okay, so you would have returned on the 17th, and she would have been picking up her children from preschool on the 18th.
Yeah, I think 5 p.m. on the 18th, which is why, I mean, I didn't object. I just said, okay, I didn't make a thing out of it, but it didn't make any sense.
Okay. And that, just for clarification, that conversation occurred on June 4th.
It did.
Okay, when was the next time you saw her after that coffee shop meeting?
Yeah, so that was mid-afternoon, and in the evening, I had plans to go see her and spend time with her and the kids. And then she had contacted me that she wasn't feeling well and I should like rush over there, essentially. She had a stomach problem, so I got there as quickly as I could.
All right, so did you go to her residence that evening?
I did.
And what happened when you got there?
Well, on the way there, I remember contacting her and asking her, do you want me to stop and get some stomach medicine or something like that? And didn't. I believe she told me not to. Once I got there, she hemmed and hawed a little bit, and then eventually I left because she was a complete anxious wreck. She didn't have the flu. She didn't have food poisoning. She was just a nervous, anxious wreck, and it was affecting her stomach. So after a little while, I drove to a nearby convenience store to go get her Pepto-Bismol, which I recall because I have a credit card receipt from this random convenience store a few miles from her house.
He saved
All
the
right,
receipt.
so she was a nervous wreck that night, and did she tell you what the problem was or not?
No, there's no discernible. I couldn't figure it out. She didn't tell me.
Okay. All right. Was there a time when you were over at Ms. Adelson's residence and you observed that her TV was broken?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that. When did that occur?
That would have been around the week of June 11th to 18th, somewhere in that time period. I went over Wendy's to spend time with her and the kids, and she asked me to take a look at the television. I turned it on. She said there was a problem with the TV, so I turned it on expecting to see like input 1 flashing, or the kids pushed the wrong button or whatever. And what I'm looking at when I turn it on is a screen that's been partially shattered, that's been struck by an object. So she had a broken TV.
All right, and did she tell you what happened to the TV, how it got into that?
No, she kind of asked me to look into the TV, as if she didn't know. I looked around. It was impossible to me that the kids would have done it, but I didn't know a better explanation at the time. So I was kind of mystified as to what happened. It looked like a human being stood, between 5 and 6 foot, something like that. It stood in front of it and hit it. That's what it looked like. But she was asking me.
Okay, so it was like an impact
Her
mark,
height.
like a round impact with spider webs.
That's
Exactly. And then the image, the pixels are distorted. Most people have probably seen this. So it's, and it wasn't completely shattered. You could sort of see what was going on the television. But it's not a TV anybody would normally watch.
Okay. All right, so let's move away from the TV for now. Was there a date that you had with Wendy Adelson on, gosh, have I gone backwards in time here? It was the day before her birthday. What was the date of that?
We were scheduled to have a date. The day before her birthday is April 21st. We were scheduled to have kind of a special date night that night. Wendy didn't answer her phone, didn't answer texts, and I got so concerned about her. A few hours after the date was supposed to have started, I just drove over there to check on her, knocked on the door for a while. She finally came to the door. Appeared to be intoxicated, and not just on alcohol. I mean, weary-eyed. I'm not sure what substances, but it wasn't good. She wanted me to stay, and I was annoyed enough that I actually just left. I didn't stay the night. So.
Okay, so I kind of got our timeline out of order, but some erratic behavior from her on April 21st and then again on June 4th.
That's right.
Okay. I'm going to approach and show you a text message that was sent on June 28th of 2014. And I've marked it as States Exhibit 141. Have you ever had a chance to review this text message before?
Yeah, you showed this to me last week.
All right, and this message had never been shown to you before last week, right?
Right.
And it's been testified that this was from Wendy Adelson to her brother Rob Adelson, but it concerns you.
Yes.
Is there anything factually incorrect in what Wendy Adelson is stating in that text message?
Well, when she says I haven't told mom and dad about me, I met them multiple times. It's impossible that they didn't know we were dating. For example, I was aware that Donna wasn't thrilled that I wasn't Jewish, So there was, that doesn't add it. This doesn't make sense to me in terms of like seeing me for 6 or 7 months.
So in that text message, she's saying, that you're a secret boyfriend from the parents. Were you a secret boyfriend from the parents at that time?
It's implausible. No, I don't think so.
In fact, you'd met the parents several times.
Yeah, and had conversations with them, limited conversations, but conversations. And the other part that's, I think, really significant is the kids talked about me constantly. I have all kinds of text messages and emails where Wendy's mentioning the kids are down in South Florida talking about me.
Judge, at this time I'd ask to move
Any objection?
Can I see that, please?
Wendy. Seems weird that we're focusing all this time on Wendy. I'm sure it'll connect to Donna.
Stage 141 is admitted at this time.
Not sure what just fell, but something was knocked over.
Okay, I want to draw your attention next to a disagreement that occurred with Wendy Adelson on June 29th of 2014. Do you recall that incident?
I do.
Okay. And at that time, did you confront Wendy about some suspicions you had that she was seeing other men?
Yeah, that was part of it. That was the main part of the disagreement. I also had spent the last 2 or 3 months concerned that she seemed to be stringing me along.
Where did the fight occur?
The fight occurred in Gainesville.
Okay, and I say fight, it was a verbal disagreement.
It was verbal disagreement, and argument's not even the right word. We just exchanged words, yeah.
Okay, and did that exchange of words lead to an awkward drive together back to Tallahassee?
It did, a very awkward drive back to Tallahassee.
And that was?
That's the morning of 29th, it's the 29th or 30th. It's the 30th, the morning of the 30th.
Morning of June 30th.
Yes.
Okay. And after you parted ways, once you returned back to Tallahassee on the 30th, what was the status of your relationship over the next couple weeks?
Yeah. Well, we left that, when I left on the 30th, when he was clear that it wasn't over, but it wasn't great that we'd had this exchange either. So over the next couple weeks, we had phone calls, text messages, video chats with the kids. My take was, seems like it's probably going to be okay, but I didn't know for sure. It did string the relationship out another couple weeks when it easily could have ended.
When was the next time you saw her in person?
July 13th.
All right, so about, I guess that's the Sunday before the murder, is that right?
That's correct.
And where did you see her?
We went to dinner and a movie. I picked her up at her house at Aqua Ridge. We went to dinner and a movie and then returned there.
Okay, well, we're on the topic of Aqua Ridge. I'm going to approach and show you what's been introduced in evidence. Is that in evidence, Ms. Diggin?
Gonna need some more Gatorade water. Do wonder what she's thinking. Are those, is that her dagger look, or is that just confusion, betrayal? I don't know.
All right, we'll circle back to Aqua Ridge. So we're on the disagreement, didn't see her for a while, saw her on July 13th. And you were at her residence. What was the plan for that evening?
I didn't know. It was just to spend time together and maybe talk about the relationship some, but we were conversing. We had conversations.
Were the kids there that night?
They were not.
Okay, so it was just the two of you at the residence?
Just the two of us.
All right, and did the subject of relocation come up?
Yes.
In what context?
It came up in the context of whenever Wendy got back from Miami, she was always very upset about the fact that the relocation had previously been denied. I mean, it had been legally denied, but she wasn't over it. It was a constant refrain about how much she hated Tallahassee. So we're talking about the future relationship, and I'm asking, are you going to be here? Because with the constant complaining about how hard it was on her parents to transport the kids and just the constant complaining, I was just thinking, is she even going to be here? Is it worth trying to push forward in a relationship? And she said the only way that I'd ever relocate is if something would have to happen to Danny.
Subject to the same ruling at sidebar, the objection is overruled pending the other matters that do have to be addressed. You may continue, Ms. Kappelman.
Please repeat your answer.
Yeah, the only way she'd ever be able to relocate is if something happened to Danny, was the first statement.
Okay, and did she mention anything further about something happening to Danny?
Can I give the context before the next?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was getting a little tired of this whole drama around the relocation. And so I pushed back on Wendy a little bit and said, like, you're going to have to kind of make your peace with this. You're going to have to take some responsibility for this. You're linked to Dan Markel for life. Kind of challenged her a little bit. And she said, well, can I tell you something confidentially? And I said, sure. And she said, last summer.
I'm going to repeat the same objection or send the court's ruling.
Same ruling remains. The objection is overruled. You may continue with your answer.
She
Can
said,
I tell you something in confidence?
Yeah, can I tell you something? After I challenge her, can I tell you something in confidence? Sure. Well, last summer, my brother looked into all options possible to take care of the Danny Markel problem, including hiring a hitman, and it would cost about $15,000.
Okay, and when she referred to her brother, she's got two of those, right?
She said Charlie.
Okay. And when she said Charlie looked into hiring a hitman, are you familiar with Charlie's joke? I looked into hiring a hitman, but got you a TV as a divorce present because it was cheaper.
Wendy?
Yeah, Wendy had told me that joke a couple of times. This was not that joke.
Okay, so this was something different.
Yeah, the joke was said with levity. It's a dark joke, but this I found chilling. I found disturbing. It made my stomach flip. It kind of took me aback. It was, she was dead serious when she said this. And she'd asked to tell me in confidence, which you don't do before you tell a joke.
Okay. So I want to take you to the next day then. So we're at July 14th, the Monday before the murder.
Yes.
Did you see Wendy Adelson on that date?
Yes. We had contact throughout the day trying to arrange some kind of date. It kind of ebbed and flowed. But she was real enthusiastic about seeing me at one point, and then like mid-afternoon, let's just meet at yoga is what was decided. So we went to yoga.
Okay, what happened after yoga?
Well, I was wondering why we were at yoga, because when he was being very strange, I felt like the relationship was over. She wasn't feeling well. I'm not a big yoga guy, so I didn't understand why we were at yoga for like 80 minutes, stretching. But then when we left yoga, we barely spoke, and I was just getting a vibe that this is over. Tried to talk about the relationship, didn't go very well. It was pretty clear to me. My internal thoughts were like, well, this is over. And she didn't want to spend time with me the rest of the week, so I just put my hands up like this. I remember this vividly, and just turned around and walked away.
Where were you when that was happening?
We're in the parking lot of Journey's Yoga over by Winn-Dixie.
Okay, so you have your two respective vehicles there, and
yes.
You're parting ways.
Yes.
Okay, what happens as you walk away?
Get about 10, 15 feet away from her, and she calls after me. I turn around, and she had a series of detailed questions about what I would be doing on Friday. I had a trip to Tennessee planned, and she wanted to know if I was going on that trip, and she wanted to know what route I would be taking. And if I didn't go on the trip, why wouldn't I go on the trip? And I answered the questions as best I could, but I was confused why, at that moment, she wanted to know the details of what I was doing on Friday when she expressly didn't want to spend time with me on Friday.
Okay, and we now know that Dan Markel was murdered on Friday.
Yes.
Right? If you had taken the trip as planned, which is as you reported to Wendy that day, what would your route have been?
I would have left my house at about 11 a.m., which Wendy knew. I'd related my plan to her earlier in the relationship. Needed to get to Atlanta for dinner and was worried about traffic and stuff like that. So I would have left at 11, and I would have driven down. I would have got to Capitol Circle in Thomasville, which is close enough to Danny's house that it kind of gave me the creeps. It was kind of weird. Yeah.
Okay. So physically, you're saying you might have been sort of consistent with where how the killers fled town.
Yeah.
Okay. And after this yoga date and the discussion of your travel plans, did you get an email from Wendy?
I did.
I'm going to publish what's been introduced into evidence as states 64GG.
I do get the feel that we will hear this testimony again in at least one more trial, as the judge has hinted at. Let's see. Is this the fifth or sixth?
Is this the email she sent you after the yoga date?
Yes.
All right, so is she breaking up with you? Is that clear?
No, she's asking, well, I considered based on our interaction, I thought this is over. I had told Wendy if she wanted to break up with me, she doesn't like confrontation, just send me an email or text. She sends me this, which strings everything out for another week. So she's not breaking up. Functionally, that's realistically, I'm not dumb. I'm thinking we're over. But she's asking for another week, which brings it to the 21st of July. And I was puzzled. I wondered what in the world is going to happen July 21st. But I just didn't respond because she asked for no contact.
All right, so she wants to have no contact for a week.
Right.
Okay. All right, I was able to find that photo I was looking for earlier, 86A. I can show you that. You recognize 86A?
Yeah, that's Wendy's, Adelson's residence on Aqua Ridge, and that's what it looked like when we were dating.
Okay. Moving to evidence 86A.
Any objection? No, Your Honor. 86A is admitted at this time.
May I publish?
You may.
All right, so I blurred the boys' faces, but this is how the residents at Aqua Ridge appeared.
Yes.
And the kids' art that's shown on the wall here, was that present during the time that you were dating Wendy Adelson?
Yes.
Was it something that like art would come down, other art would go up, or was it pretty fixed?
It was, maybe some art would get added, but I never saw any come down until July 14th.
Right.
13th, sorry, July 13th.
July 13th, you noticed that the art had been taken down?
We walked into the kitchen, and then Wendy was pulling art off the wall, the only time I'd ever seen her do that.
Okay. And I want to ask you about, I've nicknamed it the celebration dinner. Are you familiar with that?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell the jury about that, please?
Yeah.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for hearsay. I understand the court's prior rule.
Objection is overruled.
Wendy and I reestablished phone contact about 10 days after the murder. She called me, and we had 3 or 4 phone calls. In one of them, she related that her and Charlie had gone to what Charlie called a celebration dinner, and at that dinner, Charlie said something to her. She didn't specify what it was, and she spontaneously vomited all over the table.
Are you aware, sir, that you were suggested as a potential suspect in this murder? Where were you when Dan Markel was murdered?
I was in Tennessee because I had left on my trip the night before.
So you changed your plan?
I changed my plans at the last minute.
All right, and you provided law enforcement with some receipts and things to prove that you were in Tennessee at the time?
All that, and I got a flat tire, so I ended up getting videotaped at a Kmart. And I know the TPD used that to exclude me with the timestamp on the surveillance footage.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
All right. Look at that still camera getting the shot. She's got a silent shutter.
At some point, did you learn that the killers came to Tallahassee in June, not just in July?
Yes, when the arrests were made and the documents were released, I learned that, yes.
And did you put together some facts about your travel plans that day that could have potentially made you a suspect on that trip as well if the murder had happened as
Yeah,
planned.
that Friday, I was scheduled to go to a business trip in Gainesville, leaving at 11 a.m. So 2 times in 2014, I leave town on a trip by myself in my car, and both times hitmen are in town trying to kill Danny Markel, once successfully, obviously.
Are you familiar with the type of vehicle that was originally rented by the killers in June to make that June trip?
I am.
Okay. And was that significant to you?
Yeah, I mean, this is long after this all happened. I'm learning this from court proceedings in 2016. But when I heard they rented a gray Altima initially, I had a 2004 Nissan Sentra. That freaked me out because that's about as close as you were going to get to my car on the rental market.
Right. I'm going to show you what I've marked as State's Demonstrative Exhibit G. You recognize this exhibit?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is this the make and model of the, it's not the actual rental car, but the make and model of the rental car compared to the make and model of your vehicle?
Yeah, my car's right on top. That looks just like the car I had at the time.
Permission to publish G, Your Honor?
You may.
I have one more moment to confer, please. No further questions, Judge.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor, just a moment.
See if this gets a little spicy. If Wendy goes to trial, all those hearsay statements can be offered for the truth of the matter. He would definitely be a key witness if Wendy is tried.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And it's Dr. Lacoste, correct?
Jeff is fine. Mr. Lacoste is fine.
You testified that it was your understanding that my client, Donna Adelson, was aware of the motion that the state has called the grandmother motion.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know how she took that?
It was I'm hearing this stuff from Wendy.
Okay. Well, do you know how she took it?
I mean, I wasn't there to observe her reaction. The whole family was upset about every one of these motions, was my impression, information coming from Wendy.
Okay. And so the only person that you spoke with about how the family took things was from Wendy?
Putting Charlie's...
aside from Charlie in the hot tub?
Aside from Charlie in the hot tub, it was all through Wendy. That's correct, sir.
Isn't it true that you found Wendy... let me find the exact quote. Didn't you find Wendy to be a deeply deceitful person?
Yes, depending on the topic. I mean, that's true. But a lot of the stuff she told me about her family was later released in evidence. I'm talking about the kids getting...
Your Honor, I'd move to strike that response.
Sustained. Mr. Lacoste, you are only to respond to the question that you are asked. Members of the jury, the portions of the answer that were non-responsive you were not to consider. You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. You yourself do not have any personal knowledge as to how my client, Donna Adelson, took the grandmother motion, do you?
No.
Isn't it true that you only had limited small talk with my client, Donna Adelson?
That's correct.
Now let's talk about the damage to the television that you observed in June of 2014. Can you tell us again how you described that?
Yeah, there was a spider web pattern, like in the center of the screen, and it radiates outwards. Anywhere it's been cracked, it will pixelate. So you can see what's going on, you can track it, but it's not pleasant, and you would never watch that TV. And we watched a whole movie on that TV at Wendy's insistence, which was why I remember this. It was a very strange evening.
Didn't you suggest going to watch the movie on another TV?
Yes, I did. There was a perfectly good TV in the other room. That's correct.
And she made a fuss.
I tried to respect Wendy's boundaries, her house, her kids, so she didn't have to make a fuss. It's an awkward situation dating someone who has, 2 kids, so I'm not insisting on anything. But the kids were whining about the broken TV. That is correct, sir.
Made it difficult to even really watch or enjoy the movie.
That's right.
Could you tell us about how big that impact was?
Fist-sized.
Adult or child?
I don't remember with that precision.
Okay. You testified, about a statement that Wendy Adelson said to you on July 13th of 2014, that she wanted to say to you in confidence.
Yes.
And it was that her brother looked into hiring a hitman.
Her brother Charlie.
Her brother Charlie.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Both sides once again having to go at Wendy through this witness. This witness has done little to point the finger of blame at
Just
Donna.
a moment, Your Honor.
Watches a movie on a smashed television, unless you're trying to make the other person remember that their TV was broken. It sounds like it had an alternative motive there. Even worse. If it's as smashed as he said, you're telling me that the Geek Squad was out there for an hour trying to figure out what was wrong with it? The Geek Squad? They literally work for a company that sells new TVs. You would think their first recommendation was buy a new TV. We've got one on sale.
You may step down, Mr. Pickles. Please call your next witness.
June? I'm just pretty sure the Geek Squad probably is trained or gets incentives for rapidly processing service calls, especially ones that are under warranty, where you're not billing by the hour. It just doesn't add up. I think we are getting a preface to a potential Wendy trial.
Don't tell me she's lost the deal.
Okay, there's a joke. Don't tell me she's lost.
To all bailiffs, United States Marshals, the FBI, please track down our next witness.
There's a soundbite.
Do any of our jurors need to use the restroom during this period?
Yes, we
Bailiff,
do.
please
Yep.
take the jurors to the restroom.
Yes, we do. We got a response. Okay, let's rewind just a wee bit. See if we can get this audio.
We'll resume at 10:25. Mrs. Adelson, if you need to use the restroom, the bailiffs will assist you at this time.
Josh, you got the next witness ready? Let's see. All right, we'll go ahead and pin this one. Jeff Lacasse was an interesting one. Now up June. I don't know how to say the last name. June Yu. China Da. I don't know. And that's not right. But June is the next one. Meanwhile, we need to try to get that soundbite from the judge, trying to commission every law enforcement officer in the country to track down the next witness. This is the audio for me.
To all bailiffs, United States Marshals, the FBI, please track down our next witness.
Okay, we'll run that one more time. Dump, hang on. Let's set this up to auto dump to the timeline. Now run.
To all bailiffs, United States Marshals, the FBI, please track down our next witness.
All right, we've got it. Got it in the timeline. Now to make the, where is it? That did not work. One more time. I'm trying to grab this soundbite. Go to POI. This is a replay.
To all bailiffs, United States Marshals, the FBI, please track down our next witness.
And it's not wanting to play nicely today. Delete the timeline. We're on break right now, just waiting. Well, we get the new witness in. Jeff was a fun one to listen to, for sure. He'll be great to listen to again if Wendy does in fact get charged, which could happen as soon, very soon. With all this evidence that the prosecutors are putting out there, it's almost like, why hasn't it happened yet, right? Okay, dump this one. Auntie Deb is in the house. Saw him there. It's taking a minute. I have to do it another way. The Markels have stated they do not get to see or speak with the kids. If Wendy is about to be charged, I'm sure they've got our eye on her. She's not gonna be in Vietnam when they look for her. June is the girlfriend that Donna said, it feels like Danny is haunting me from the grave. Can you get the audio before the audience laughed? Yes, I've got the whole thing, but what part are you looking for? System is just like dragging today for some reason. Let's close it down. What are you looking for before? Are you asking what happened? Basically, there was some very quiet chatter about whether the witness was missing and then if anyone needed to use the bathroom. That was all we had before. The judge said, don't tell me this one's missing or something. What should we name this soundbite? Well, that's assuming I can get it to work here. Just one second.
Well, hold on. Have we found our witness? Dugan, a jack of all trades. Bring him on.
MIA is a good name. Missing in action. Track is perfect. Maybe warrant. Warrant would be good. I'm counting every time the judge cracks his knuckles. We're gonna count that. Apparently, there was a 6.5 gigabyte patch on DaVinci Resolve that I need to download really quickly, and I'm halfway through. Take about another minute. I love fiber internet, by the way. Wendy did get immunity. I feel like her testimony made herself look guilty, not her mom. Both the state and defense wanted Wendy to look guilty during that. Did it again. Every time the jury comes in, he'll pop his knuckles. hate fiber. It's been the worst. You've got a bad provider or a bad connection. Fiber is so fast. Or maybe a bad plan. MIA. The only problem is that that's like it's a military term for a soldier who goes missing in action. And I have a lot of respect for military. I don't want someone to be offended. Their family member went missing in action, and that's my only concern. But if you guys like it, I'll do it. As long as no one's going to be upset. .5 gigabyte fiber was the best change I've ever made at home. I only have 2 gig, Sean. I am so jealous. AWOL, absent without leave. That might work as well. Maya is also a singer. MIA. I think I even know. I've heard some of the songs. Some catchy tunes. Track. Someone's going to be upset no matter what we do. That's true. How does he still have knuckles to pump? Missing would work. We're waiting for people to get back from the bathroom. That's what we're doing. Installing the new DaVinci Resolve Studio 20.1.1 on the Mac. Take 12 gig of space. Some pretty good compression. The judge has an amazing chair, and I am jealous. I do think it would look better if it were tufted and not just overstuffed, but it's beautiful. Here we go. Jury's here.
Put a diplomatic plate on a hoopty.
June was not on the witness list. She just got called. So she is now. Thought I heard Juna.
Everyone can be seated. You may bring in the next witness.
There she is. Did she have a computer under her arm, or is that just a very blocky purse?
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes.
You may take your seat.
Thank you.
Please speak loudly and clearly so you can be heard. You may examine.
Hi, what is your name?
Hi, my name's June. I'm Chinda.
Will you spell that, please?
The first name is June, and the last name is Umchinda.
Where do you live, ma'am?
I live in Boca Raton, Florida.
Do you know Donna Adelson, the defendant in this case?
I do, yes.
How do you know her?
I was Charlie Adelson, her son's ex-girlfriend at one point.
Okay, when did you date Charlie Adelson?
I dated him in 2015 to 2017. I met him after the murder.
Okay. Do you recall what month in 2015 you began dating?
It was October.
And then broke up in what month of 17?
In June.
Okay. Can you describe for the jury what the beginning of your relationship with Mr. Adelson was like?
Well, in the beginning, him and his family were not being investigated by anything, so it was just a normal relationship we had. Everything was great.
Did you describe it as a fairy tale?
I did.
Had you met his mother?
I have.
How many times did you meet his mom?
Not more than 5 or 6, I would say.
And when you met her, was that at family events or what type of events?
Some family events and some weekends or dinners or just get-togethers.
Did you notice during the time you spent around Donna Adelson that she was very involved with her grandchildren?
I did notice, yes.
How close was she to Charlie Adelson?
They were very close.
Okay. Worked together?
At times, Charlie worked at many offices, so when he was at his office, yes.
Okay, because there was a family business as well that he was a part of, right?
Yes.
And Donna Adelson worked at that business?
I believe so at times.
Okay, and did they speak on the phone daily?
Yes.
Did it seem like Donna Adelson was in control of the family?
In control, like, can you describe?
Like the matriarch of the family. She was the one that everyone looked to be in charge.
She played a motherly role, yes, in the family.
Did you meet Wendy Adelson?
I have.
And what about her children? Did you meet them?
I have, yes.
Were you and Charlie Adelson living together during the time that you were dating?
Not officially. I had my own place, but I had a key to his place, and we were together 24/7 since we met, so.
So basically living together?
Yes.
During what you've described or previously described as the fairy tale phase of your relationship with Mr. Adelson, was he suffering from any anxiety issues?
In the beginning?
Yes.
Just stress from work, the normal day-to-day.
Okay. Did he come across as angry during that time, the fairy tale phase?
No.
Okay. During that portion of your relationship, what did you know, if anything, about the murder of Dan Markel?
I had no idea who Dan Markel was. I've never seen the case in the media. I just know that when I asked Charlie about his family, he advised me that his brother-in-law was murdered and shot in the head in the garage, and they don't know who did it. So that's all I knew. It was pretty short.
Was that a topic that came up one time or more than one time?
It was one time when I asked him about his family in the beginning when we were dating, getting to know each other. And then obviously throughout our relationship, it became a bigger topic.
Okay, but during the fairy tale phase, was it a topic that would come up regularly, like what's going on with the investigation and wonder who did it, that sort of thing?
So the fairy tale phase, that was before the investigation, before they suspected him or his family. So no, it did not come up, just that one time.
Okay, and did you previously say, did you have a law enforcement interview in this case?
I did. I did not know I was being recorded, but yes.
It was recorded.
I was,
right?
yes.
You had a chance to review it?
Many times, yes.
Okay. And in that interview, did you say for court and counsel, page 50, lines 19 through 23, quote, like they weren't ever curious, like who really killed him. They weren't upset about it, it seemed like. Did you say that?
If it's there, yes, I said that.
All right, and then there was a time, which, are you familiar with the bump in which law enforcement approached Donna Adelson posing as a gang member or a criminal?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in that, after that bump, did everything sort of change in your relationship with Charlie Adelson?
During and after, absolutely.
Okay. And that law enforcement operation that I'm referencing occurred April 19th of 2016. Is that something that he reported to you? Were you aware that that happened with his mom?
No, definitely not.
He didn't say
Not
anything?
during the time.
Okay. When did you learn about that?
I might have even learned about it from 2020 or something when we watched it, or he told me later on after the fact.
So although you were inseparable at the time it happened, he didn't mention it to you?
No.
In what ways did Charlie Adelson's behavior begin to change around that time?
Around that time, I noticed he wasn't sleeping. He was up in the middle of the night. He was very extra stressed and anxious, worried, depressed. Overall, he became depressed over time.
Right. And at some point, I guess you learned through the media that Charlie was under investigation for potentially having a role in the murder of Dan Markel. Is that right?
I learned from a reporter that thought I was Katie that came to the house, yes.
And do you know around what time that was?
I believe it was like May or June when Luis Rivera got arrested around that time.
Okay. And once you learned...
Or I'm sorry, Luis.
Okay, we've got some audio issues, and now Mrs. R.A. is on the TV. Hey, how's it going? Hold tight. We lost our feed for just a second. Somebody kicked the table. Hey, Mrs. R.A., thanks. Oops. Okay, hang on. Now we have no audio.
You did learn some things from the media about this case. Was there something that stood out to you about how the hitmen said they were paid?
I did read the affidavit and everything, which said Luis or somebody mentioned they were paid in staples, like bundles of cash with staples.
And why did that stand out to you?
Sorry, that was...
Because I noticed that Charlie stapled his money, or he had money that was stapled.
Okay, so you had seen that in his residence before?
Right after I read that, so after I found out that the money was stapled.
After you found out the money was stapled, you saw the stapled money?
Or no, sorry, let me think. I can't remember the exact moment, but I know when I saw the money, a red flag came up, and I was like, after the fact that I saw it, I was thinking, oh, I think Luis said he got paid in some stapled cash, and I mentioned to Charlie that he should just put a paper clip in it. Instead, we talked about the staples, so.
Okay, but you had seen, before learning that the hitmen were paid in stapled money, had you not seen stapled money in Charlie Adelson's residence?
Before the hitmen were paid?
Yeah.
I didn't know Charlie back then when the hitmen were paid.
I'm sorry. Yes, before you learned that the hitmen were paid in stapled money, which you learned from the media, you had seen stapled money in Charlie Adelson's residence.
It was after, because when I saw it, I was thinking to myself, you know, that's strange, the staples, and then it clicked. So it was after I saw.
After you saw the article or the TV broadcast, you then observed it.
After I found out.
And that's when it clicked.
Yes.
Okay. And the stapled money that you saw was $100 bills stapled into $1,000 bundles. Is that right?
Yes.
And there was quite a few of them that you saw, right?
Right.
Okay. During the time between, I guess, the few weeks before that article was published, so between what we now know was the bump and when all of this came to light, did you notice Charlie beginning to communicate more with Catherine Magbanua?
I believe I saw like a message from her, or they were on the phone once or something like that. I asked him about it.
Okay, did you previously in your law enforcement interview indicate that you saw him going back and forth with Katie on the calls, like, and I said, oh, why do you guys talk so much? You remember that?
I do. So I was referring to the episode where it shows him and Katie going back and forth on the calls. And then I told Charlie and said, like, you've never talked to me like that. So I was wondering why he talked so much to her.
Isn't it true that you noticed him talking to her at odd hours prior to the media broadcast?
No, that was all in regards to the episode that I saw, that they showed him talking to her at odd hours.
This is not the best witness.
You don't remember telling law enforcement that it was weird because he didn't wake up early, and you saw that there were on the phone the times that they were talking, and it was like 7 or 8, and you thought, oh, that's odd.
No, I did say that, but that was in the episode. I told Charlie that I thought it was odd because we don't talk that way, and he said we live together, so.
Okay. Have you described him as being paranoid during this time frame?
Yes.
Okay. And did he talk to you during this time frame about believing his phone was being tapped?
Yes, a lot.
Had you ever met Catherine Magbanua?
I met her briefly. She worked at her front desk dermatologist office that I went to. So before I knew Charlie, I met her there.
And was, at the time that the law enforcement operation occurred, the time frame we're talking about, was Katie his most recent ex-girlfriend?
No.
Who was the most recent ex-girlfriend?
Before me, it was someone named Whitney Kick.
Okay, so she was in between you and Catherine Magbanua.
Yes.
Wow. Charlie doesn't waste
any time. Did you ever know of Catherine Magbanua working for Charlie Adelson or the Adelson Institute?
No.
All right, and then when you mentioned you were still with him at the time that Magbanua was arrested, did his erratic behaviors get better or worse at the time of her arrest?
It was worse.
Okay. And can you describe those behaviors for the jury?
Well, it was a lot mixed with what I said earlier, the no sleeping, depression, and our whole relationship just took a big turn, and I wasn't sure why. In the beginning, he was just acting strange and would go to his friend's house, and our routine kind of got disrupted, and I wasn't sure why. So it was just like I knew something was going on, but I didn't know exactly what the problem was. So.
All right. Did he become angry, short-fused?
At certain times, he would.
Okay, and I'm particularly talking about this time frame around Katie's arrest and just after that. Uh-oh, trick chair. Around the time right after Katie's arrest, is that the time frame where these behaviors escalated?
Right, yes.
Okay. And did, particularly when the case or the investigation came up, is that something that would make him angry?
Not really angry. He had different emotions every time it would come up, so.
And was one of those emotions anger?
At some point, sometimes, yes.
And did you say he would get really red and screaming and take random walks, just acting like a crazy person?
He would at times, yes.
Did he get a second phone and maybe a third phone during that time?
I saw one more phone that he got and then it disappeared, so it was just a short period of time he had another phone.
At some point during this time frame, did Charlie Adelson begin communicating with you via WhatsApp?
He did actually when he went to Asia, because it's like, I guess you can talk to anyone in the country on WhatsApp, so he thought it was easier that we spoke there.
Was he only communicating with you via WhatsApp when he was in Asia, or did he do it when he came back?
We just developed the habit after he got back. We just spoke on there all the time.
Do you know if he was communicating with Magbanua via WhatsApp?
I don't know.
Did he start keeping a bag of clothes by his bed around this time?
I saw him keep a change of clothes one time or a few times, yes.
Did he sleep with a gun around this time?
He always has guns around because he has his license to carry, so he didn't physically sleep with the gun, but he has one in his nightstand and all over the place. So.
What about Wendy Adelson? Did you notice an issue between Charlie Adelson and Wendy Adelson during this time frame?
I wasn't too involved with them, but I did notice one time they got into an argument.
All right, and did he tell you it was a fight about this case?
He just said that it was something about the case, yes.
Okay, do you remember exactly when that was?
Not exactly. I don't know if I should guess or not. But.
No, please don't. Okay. So, was there a time frame where Wendy and Charlie were not speaking because of some type of a disagreement about this case?
Yes.
What about Donna Adelson? Did her behavior change at all around this time frame that we're talking about?
So I wasn't around her a lot, but when I did see her, yes, she was upset.
Okay. And did you describe her as a mess?
Yes, if it's there, yes.
What does a mess mean?
Just like mentally upset and physically drained, or not their usual self.
All right. Was she crying when you saw her?
At a point in time, yes.
And did Charlie Adelson advise you that she was taking painkillers for stress during that time frame?
Yes.
And was there a time when you were on the balcony of Donna Adelson's residence and she made a statement to you about Dan Markel?
We were speaking about Dan because the case was such a big thing at that time, yes.
Okay, and what was the statement she made?
Well, her life was crumbling down in her family's life, so she said everything felt like Dan was haunting her from the grave, or them, I don't know. Whatever it says there.
She feels like Dan's back from the grave, like haunting her or something.
In reference to that, yes. Yeah.
No further questions?
I saw her necklace is $8 on Amazon. Oh, in gold.
You.
Gold, yeah, you get the gold one.
Please remain seated. Please remain with the defense. You're not examined.
Okay.
That's the one, right? $8. I'm guessing it's the actual VCA, not the one from Amazon. Can you tell the difference, though? Can you really tell? Let me check the burner for the message. Just 1 second. Yes. Got it. but I can't respond to you because it's foreign. I don't know as much about still images. There are some online apps that you can do that with. Flickr? Does Flickr have that?
Did Charlie Adelson make a statement to you about Catherine Magbanaway's breast augmentation?
After the 2020 episode, he made a statement and joked about it, yes.
What did he say?
He was saying they were thinking that he paid for the whole thing, and then he said, he paid for one or something and laughed.
Only paid for one of the breasts. Half of the work.
Right, but he was laughing, so it was just a joke.
Okay.
Surprised that so much of her testimony is about what she saw in 2020, or what was on the 2020 episode. AZDCS Oversight Group, 22 months OG. Thank you very much for your support. I think you guys are right. The important part from her testimony is that she saw Charlie stapling money, and that he did it the same way. The rest, all tied to the 2020. Her memory seems a little bit faulty.
My name's Jackie Fulford, and I, along with Josh Zellman, we represent Donna Adelson. I've never met you before, correct?
No, never.
Okay. I just really have a few questions. There's been some discussion in your direct examination about what you might have told law enforcement during an initial interview, correct?
Correct.
And you were told that that was not being recorded, correct?
Yes.
And that whatever you said wasn't going to be used, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you gave a lengthy interview then that day?
Yes.
And at the time that you did that, you were broken up with Charlie, correct?
We were going through a horrible breakup at that time, yes.
Okay. You've previously said that Charlie's really good at persuading people. He lies and he makes it believable. You recall that?
I do.
Josh, thanks for the 5 gifted
memberships. Talk about the cash for a minute. He had a lot of cash, right?
From what I saw, I don't really know his bank account, but
I'm just talking about the cash that you saw.
Yes.
Okay. And you've testified, there seems to be some confusion about whether you knew that before you saw it come out that it was stapled, because I thought you previously had said that when you saw in the article that Luis Rivera referred to being paid in stapled cash, that a light went off in your head because you had previously seen Charlie had stapled cash, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And he had it stacked in $100 bills. In groups of 1,000, he'd put 10 together and he stapled them, right?
Right. I didn't see him staple them, but they were stapled already.
You saw that it was stapled, correct?
Yes.
And he had a safe in his room that he kept money in.
He did.
And it was a very large safe, correct?
He had guns in there too, so it was large.
And I think at one point you told law enforcement that it was about the size of a refrigerator, right?
Right.
Okay.
It's a good size safe.
So you did an initial interview, you've been deposed, you testified in Catherine Magbanaway's trial and in Charlie's trial, right?
Right, this is my 4th trial.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the $8 necklace.
So I have the transcripts from each of those. And you testified on direct that you didn't think the Adelsons, referring to all of them, you didn't think they were curious about who had killed Danny and what had happened. Do you recall telling law enforcement that?
Right, at that time it seemed that way.
Okay, and didn't you later say that you were really just speculating about that?
Yes.
When you testified, let's see, when you testified in Katie Magbanaway's second trial, referring to this statement about attributing to Donna that she said those words about Danny coming back from the grave and haunting her, in Katie's second trial, you actually kind of came off of that, didn't you?
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you say it again?
Yeah, sure. When you
Lost train of
testified,
thought.
so you originally made that statement to law enforcement. You used those words.
Yes.
He came back from the grave, haunting her, something to that effect.
Right.
Okay. But when you testified in Katie's trial, didn't you say that those weren't the exact words that she said? She was just very upset, and to you it came out like that. Didn't you testify to that?
What's the page and line?
Let's see, it would be page 1196. Line, well, it starts at line 3, the questioning, but the answer is lines 14 through 16. I don't know, like, if they were those exact words, I think she was just so, like, stressed out and upset that that's how it came out. That's what you testified to, correct?
If it says it there, I don't remember Katie's trial because it's been a while, but if it says it there, then that's what I said.
And you were testifying under oath then, correct? Every single time that you've given these... I'm sorry. You were under oath, correct?
I'm sorry?
Please answer out loud to all questions, just don't nod your head.
Oh, okay.
Because the court reporter can't put down that you're nodding your head.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So the answer was yes, you were under oath.
Yes, I think if it says that, then yes.
Well, you took an oath here today before you started testifying, correct?
Yes.
And the other trials, you did the same thing. You swore to tell the truth, right?
Right.
Can I have just one more moment, Judge?
We're under oath, right? If it says that, then yes.
Any redirect examination?
No, Your Honor.
Is the witness released?
Yes.
You may step down at this point.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Camilla, I can't click on your comment.
Please call your next witness.
State calls Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, next up. Had some interesting witnesses today. I guess we're doing who wore it best. Was the it was just red dress went out, red dress came in. So this is Ryan Fitzpatrick walking up right now.
Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may take your seat. Please speak loudly and clearly.
Sir, please introduce yourself and spell your name.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, R-Y-A-N F-I-T-Z-P-A-T-R-I-C-K.
Sir, do you know the defendant in this case, Donna Adelson?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you know her?
She was Charlie's mother.
Okay, were you friends with Charlie?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the time frame that you all were friends?
Probably 2013, 2014 to 2019, 2020. I can't really.
Okay. And during the time y'all were friends, were you like best friends?
We were very close friends, yes, ma'am.
Close friends. And based on your knowledge of Charlie Adelson, was he really close with his mother, Donna Adelson?
Yes, ma'am.
And also with his sister, Wendy?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How did they feel about Dan Markel, you know?
I'm going to object. They haven't laid a foundation as to which person. They doesn't describe anything related to my client.
Speaking objections, please sit down.
I'll re-ask the question. How did Donna Adelson feel about Dan Markel?
Didn't like Dan.
Okay. And Charlie, did he have a lot of girlfriends?
Yes, ma'am.
And was Catherine McBanawa one of those girlfriends?
Yes, ma'am, she was.
Is that somebody that you ever met or hung out with?
I believe once or twice in passing, but didn't, like I've testified before, didn't pay any attention to Charlie's girlfriends.
Okay, so she didn't stand out to you as anything special among the crowd?
May have looked like the others, but no, didn't stand out to me at all.
Okay. Are you familiar with Charlie Adelson's practice of how he keeps his cash?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And how is that?
Stapled money, 10 100s equals 1,000. I've been paid by stapled money by Charlie Adelson before. That's how I know.
Okay.
That's a pretty good foundation.
And when the murder of Dan
Personal
Markel
knowledge.
occurred, was that during the time frame that you were really close with Charlie Adelson?
No, ma'am, it was prior to us growing closer as friends.
Okay. When you did grow closer as friends, did Mr. Adelson mention the murder to you?
It wasn't discussed. Dan wasn't a topic of discussion. There was no, nobody, it was odd because it wasn't.
Okay. So you were aware of it, that it happened?
Yes, ma'am. It was.
Okay. But nobody talked about it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And are you familiar with the law enforcement operation that's been referenced as the bump, where Donna Adelson was approached on the street?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. And did Charlie Adelson talk to you about the bump? His mom being approached?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And prior to that, had Charlie Adelson ever mentioned being harassed or extorted or anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So when this happened with his mother, did his demeanor change? How was he acting about this incident?
Charlie became agitated, nervous, anxiety. I guess looking back now, guilty, just abnormal.
Okay. Did he ever make a statement to you about murder?
He made the statement at one time that you could get away with anything if you keep your mouth shut, and implied murder.
All right. After the arrests that occurred in this case, and I'm referencing the 3 suspects that were arrested prior to him, did that impact his behavior, demeanor around you?
When the others were arrested?
When the other arrests occurred?
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am. That behavior continued to increase.
Okay, so he was anxious, would you say?
More needy. Charlie talked a lot, and he talked a lot about it. Yes, ma'am.
And he talked a lot about what? Those arrests?
Charlie would talk about something repeatedly, almost to help himself believe something, or to talk to you till he was blue in the face, until you were almost so tired of hearing it that you were like, oh, okay, and you believed it. But
okay.
It was nauseating. It's tiring.
He was a talker.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is it fair to say that Charlie was not stressed out at all about the murder or anything related to this case prior to that law enforcement operation?
From my understanding, yes, ma'am.
And after that operation, based on your observations of him, he became very upset and worried about this case?
Yes, ma'am.
No further questions?
Cross-examination.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
I've never met you, but we spoke on the phone once, and then you did a deposition. You recall that?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
The deposition was recently, I think August the 14th. You recall that?
Yes, ma'am.
I think you appeared by video.
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay. When you gave your deposition, you indicated that you barely know Donna Adelson, correct?
I didn't know her like I knew Charlie, no, ma'am.
And You've been around her many times.
Yes, ma'am.
And she was always nice to you.
Very nice.
She and Harvey were pleasant to be around.
Very pleasant.
You knew Charlie very well, as you've testified.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were friends,
Yes,
correct?
ma'am.
But that ended, didn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
And it was an ugly ending.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You said you were very good friends with Charlie. Were you familiar with the cash that he kept in his house?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he keep it stapled?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, $100 bills, 10 of them, so 1,000 at a time?
Yes, ma'am.
He had a safe in his house, and that's where he kept his money, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Kind of had some issues. I think my co-counsel was asking you some questions in your deposition, but the bottom line is you have a feeling, and that you say that it's known that the Adelsons didn't like Dan Markel, but you couldn't give us a specific comment in your deposition that Donna Adelson ever made. It's just well known, correct?
It was implied, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. No further questions.
Direct examination. You may step down.
All right, quick witness.
Will
See
the
if we can get
witness be
another one in
recalled at
before
any time?
lunch.
No, Your Honor.
You are released, sir. Have a good day.
He's already gone.
Please call your next witness.
State calls Mary Hull.
Mary Hull.
Yeah, we're going to need to speak to her first. We were provided with some information before today or to report.
Speaking objection.
It's not a speaking.
Hold on, stop talking. Please take the jurors to the jury room.
Stop talking, and we're going to count that for the judge as he lays down the law. What we heard there was we're going to need to subpoena her first. I mean, defense now wants to add her to their witness list because they received some information that they'd like to bring in. Prosecution objected to the speaking objection, which it wasn't.
You can be seated. If there's a topic that needs to be addressed, please ask to approach, but no gratuitous statements need to be made in front of the jurors.
I apologize to the court, Judge. I thought this was something that had been worked out previously with the state, and I should not have made those comments. I apologize.
You need to speak with Ms. Hull before she testifies.
We do, Judge.
State you need to be heard concerning this.
Yes, sir.
Very well. How long will it take to speak to Ms. Hull about this matter?
It should not take long, but maybe 15 minutes, Judge?
For scheduling purposes, I think for direct, maybe about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm not sure about cross, so.
Can we do it at lunch?
All right, let's put the jurors then on early lunch. During this time, the defense can speak with Ms. Hull about any topics that you need to prior to her examination. Please bring the jurors out so we can put them on the lunch break.
All right, so with the information about how long it's going to take this testimony on direct, about 45 minutes, judge calls an audible, goes with an early lunch. So jurors going to be released for an hour 15-ish, I'm thinking, and then possibly before anything else happens, defense is going to issue a subpoena to the witness and talk to her, which is going to be interesting. So haven't seen that happen in the middle of a trial, but judge is a little disappointed that that was brought up in the presence of the jury. Says, don't do that again. They say, we're sorry. But it is what it is. Let's see what schedule the judge goes with. See if they come back at 12:15, 12:30. It's only 11:15 now. Super early lunch makes for a long afternoon. It does. We're probably going to have a little bit of nap time at some point, especially if we have a slow witness. Might have a little bit of shut-eye. Building the portal for this afternoon's live stream. We're going to transfer you right over there when we go to lunch. We'll jump right over to the new one.
All right,
jury entering. Jury finding out they get lunch right now. Then they will be leaving.
Everyone can be seated. Members of the jury, we're going to take an early lunch break today. Once again, I'm going to remind you of the instructions that you have received before, not to discuss this case with each other or anyone else. If anyone attempts in any way to speak to you about this case or talk to you, please make sure you report that matter to the bailiff so I can deal with it appropriately. Also, during the lunch break, do not look at any information about this case or any of the news reporting. Again, you may eat together if you choose to do so, but the only prohibition is discussing this case. We will get started again at 12:35. Please make sure you have reported by 12:30. Enjoy your break. We'll resume at that point.
All right, as the jury leaves, the prosecution is trying to link all these pieces together, and some of the strongest evidence they have in this whole murder involves people other than Donna. They present that evidence and then present the little evidence they have about Donna, and it starts to fill in the gaps a little bit.
Everyone can be seated. For the parties, please report back at 12:30 as well. This should give the defense an opportunity to speak with Mrs. Hull and have your midday break as well. Does anything else need to be addressed?
Just one thing, Judge. The state is going to present a PowerPoint presentation during Mrs. Hull's testimony, and I do have an objection, a hearsay objection to slide 38. It's a text messaging conversation between Harvey Adelson and Charlie Adelson, and Harvey's statements would be hearsay, and that was ruled on yesterday as well.
May I respond, Judge?
Go ahead.
Let me pull up the slide just a moment.
And it was also a statement before the conspiracy judge. It was December 14th of 2012.
So, Judge, I believe the court has seen this before, but I can also provide the court with a copy. Slide 38 is a text message exchange between Harvey Adelson and Charlie Adelson from 2012, where they are discussing having a large amount of cash. And I plan to ask Ms. Hull, did the family keep a large amount, or did the family keep cash? Did they have access to a lot of cash? Did they have, did they give cash discounts at their dental practice? And this is an example of them taking whatever, taking whatever cash that they did receive and keeping it as opposed to depositing it in the bank. And so I do think that it's probative and more probative than it is prejudicial.
I believe the objection is hearsay, not that it's relevant.
Okay.
Exception to hearsay. It's for the
let me see.
truth of the matter. So
Harvey is the one making the statement.
he's not the defendant.
I mean, okay, so the statement is, I have too much cash, and talking about there's no tax advantages for a large gift, except that he has too much cash. But we're not proving it to prove he has too much cash at that time. We're using it to prove this family keeps a large amount of cash outside of, banking institutions. They have a lot of cash, and that would be relevant to them having a large amount of cash at the time that these payments were made.
So you're not offering the statement for the truth of the matter asserted, but rather a separate claim.
Not for the truth of the matter asserted in these messages, but rather the fact that they had cash in general and kept cash out of banks.
and that is for the truth
that's
of
the truth of the matter.
Judge. She's trying to use this, a hearsay statement from a person who's not a party to this litigation. You know, there's an argument in Charlie's trial, but here, this is not about Donna, and they say they're not using it for the truth of the matter asserted, but then she turned around and said, we're using it to prove they have a lot of cash. So they are using it for the truth of the matter
I
asserted.
agree with defense.
What would be the other issue that is being offered for Ms. Dugan if it's not for the truth of the matter asserted? Ms. Fulford is making a good point.
I think that if it were for the truth of the matter asserted, it would be that he has too much cash on this date and there's no tax advantage of this gift. But we're using it to show that they keep a large amount of cash outside of banking institutions, that they have a large amount of cash in general. That's just the distinction I'm saying. But the statement is, I have too much cash.
Splitting the hair is pretty thin. On that matter, I'll reserve ruling for now. Do you have a copy of slide 38 that I can review?
Yes, sir.
Holly Mack, member for 25 months, OG. Very enjoyable 25 months with you on this amazing channel. Thanks, Scott Mods and chat. Love to all. Thank you, Holly, from Canada. Renee, member for 19 months, but longer. Another OG. Love this channel. Thank you for the kind words, Renee. I don't think the prosecution argument is winning me over on this one. I think it is for the truth of the matter. Yeah, very few of us have been in the same boat. I have too much cash. I'm running out of staples. Cash. What do I do with all this cash? Quick, hire a hitman. That'll solve the problem. Two problems at once. Judge looking at page 38 of the PowerPoint. I think you can decide with the defense on this one. I would, if I were the judge. No pressure, though. Judge Everett, you do you. Sarah Stanley, welcome to the gallery. Thank you so much. Green Courthouse looks great. Looks like I'm getting my lawn mowed again. That is awesome.
All right, Stugan, you can have your slide back.
He's not impressed. That look is just... You're ready to rule?
As to slide 38, I will find that this does predate the conspiracy, at least as it's been alleged during this trial. Additionally, as to the discussion of cash and it flowing from one party to the next between the two Adelsons,
So
as to that, it cannot be offered for the truth of the matter asserted. It is hearsay. The non-hearsay basis that it's being offered for, again, Ms. Dugan, is what exactly? That's unrelated to the money specifically.
Can you say the last part is unrelated to what?
What is the unrelated aspect of this exhibit that's unrelated to the money that you're offering it for?
Right, I mean, it is related to the money. We're trying to establish that they keep a large amount of cash, they don't put it in banks, and they transfer it from one family member to another.
All right, that.
Transfer it via just giving it to them, as opposed to putting in a bank.
You may question Investigator Hull concerning what she learned as a result of going through the financial records, but as to the slide, I will sustain the objection unless there is another basis for which it's being offered, not the truth of the matter asserted. Well, that is our break at this point. Please return at 12:30.
All right. The judge rules, agrees with the defense on that one, says, yeah, that's too close to the actual truth of the matter asserted that you want to have the jury take into evidence. So we're not going to allow that to come in because of that. Even though it predates the conspiracy. It predates the whole, this happened beforehand. This was just practice, the family, and that's what they tried to get it in under. Wasn't able to make the argument that convinced the judge that way, so they may have to look for another way if they're able to. Andrew C., happy Tuesday. Andrew OG, thank you very much for 28 months of support on the channel. I appreciate it. Wouldn't be the same without you here. Thank you. Is it illegal to hold cash? No, it's not wise, because the holder of the cash generally is the person who claims they own it. I know that doesn't always work that way, but if somebody else holds your cash, it's very easy to lose it. Dan B., member for 23 months. Oh, gee, I thought you fixed your mower. I did. It works. The only problem is I have actually two neighbors, one that lives further away than the other. The neighbor across the street likes to mow my lawn. And he forgets how much he mows the lawn, and he just mows it again. And so it's kept golf green short. It is so short. And it's struggling for that reason. But he's a great guy, and we let him do it, and he loves to do it. So, and then we have another neighbor who we didn't know she was our neighbor. Her truck broke down in the street right out by the pole, and we helped her push it off the road into our driveway, where it sat for the next 3 months while she worked on it in her spare time. We helped her out a little bit to get her truck working, and she is. Ended up being a sort of a family friend and has come by with her friends, even had Thanksgiving dinner with us 1 year. And occasionally she'll come by if she's got free time because she does mow people's lawn. And she's like, hey, I drove by, just mowed your lawn. I'm like, thanks. So we've had a couple people mow the lawn. The grass just can't compete. Nice neighbors. Yeah, it's a wonderful neighborhood. I'll tell you this. The other day, Sunday, getting ready to go to church, I'm like, we need to go. Okay, we've got to be there. And I'm like, where are the keys to the car? And I'm like, who hid the keys? They're supposed to be on the rack. And they're like, you were the last one driving it. I'm like, I was. And that's always the worst when it was like, okay, so where did I put the keys? I'm looking everywhere. And the kids come back inside, like, they're in the ignition. When I came back from the trip to the beach on Saturday, I left the keys in the ignition, and just proof we live in a great neighborhood. The car and the keys were still here, so it's all good. All right, I just Googled why people staple money. It says it's for defacing money. Stapling can deface it, but I don't know. I think that would be a hard one to charge. It is against the law to deface money, but I don't think that really gets charged very often. I mean, you see the guys that take the nickels and they carve like skeleton faces over Lincoln or whatever. Who is it? No, Jefferson's on the nickel, right? That they don't get charged, and people color on money all the time. It's a form of defacing money. It is. It's tearing it. Back in the day, I'm not sure if the statute of limitations has run out, but I used to take the bills when they first put that little ribbon through that has like 20, 20, 20, 20 on a $20 bill. We would take that and you tear the top and the bottom, you separate it, and you can pull that foil strip out. We used to do that all the time, not realizing that it could in fact then look like it was a fake bill if you tried to spend it somewhere and they checked. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's a 50 years. Never mind. That was a fictional story I just shared from a book I read once. Good luck finding the evidence. All right, we're gonna go to lunch and come back. We have more. We're building up to Charlie's testimony. We're building up to getting Charlie on the stand. If that happens, I don't know if he'll testify because he has some appeals in the works. But we're getting there. All right. Dwayne did it, that's for sure. We're going to go to lunch. You should get some lunch there as well, and then come back. We're going to be back at 12:15. They're going to start at 12:30. They'll give us time to catch up with everything before court comes back. So tonight when you go home, please hug the people you love, smile at someone, make their day just a little bit better, and please stay safe till we go live again in an hour. Nope, let's see, 45 minutes. You got 45 minutes to eat. Remember, during this time, defense is going to be asking the next witness a few questions and possibly handing her a subpoena of their own, saying, by the way, don't go anywhere. We're going to need you later on. So it'll be juicy to find out what those details are and see if we get to go into it a little bit on cross-examination. Guys, have a good lunch. We'll see you after the break. Bye-bye.
It's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us.